Hi there! Today we'll talk about the undefined ego center in human design and what does it mean about your confidence? How does it connect to how you view yourself and how high your self esteem is? First of all, let's first check where the ego center is. The ego center is this small triangle in your body graph, which you can see right here. It's defined, but that is just so you can see it. So, the undefined ego center, what does it mean for you? Well, if your center is undefined, that will most likely mean that you don't know how to put prices on things. You do not know the value of things. So, for example, if you like something, how you appreciate it, how you value it, might fluctuate a lot. So, you might think that it's $10, and then you do some research and you start thinking that it's maybe $100, but then it turns out it's a completely different price. So that is something that also affects you and your own confidence because you also don't know your own self-worth. You constantly fluctuate, you tend to fluctuate between I'm amazing, I'm awesome, and then crashing straight down. No, I'm not, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, etc. It is very normal to have such feelings when you have an undefined ego center or heart center. It also affects your self esteem because it also tends to fluctuate how you see yourself. And the whole idea of you're not self here. So when you are going through life, you feel that you don't, you feel like you have to prove yourself. You feel like you have to prove your value to others. And the truth is, you don't. The truth is, the only thing you have to do is accept yourself. Accept the fact that you're not really aware of how does pricing work, how does setting values work. You should become okay with that quality of yours. For example, my ego is also open, and when I want to figure out the actual value of something, I will look for someone that I trust that has a defined ego, because defined ego actually tells people how much something costs, how valuable is something. When you're around a person with a defined ego, you actually feel very much more valuable. You feel better about yourself than when you are alone. Because when you're alone, you let your brain and your head just go on and on about how unworthy you are because you don't know how exactly worthy you are. There's another component that the ego is responsible for, and that is promises. Promises and willpower. So when your ego is defined, you can make promises and actually keep them very easily. But when your ego is undefined, it's the complete opposite. So for you, something to learn is not to make promises. You can say that you are going to do your best, but the reality is that you don't have the consistent energy and the consistent willpower to keep your promises every single time. That can influence your self-esteem because you start thinking of yourself as unreliable, when in fact for you it's just harder to keep promises. The idea here is that for you, one of the lessons that you have to learn in this life is to become reliable, is to keep on with your promises, to actually manage your energy in such a way that you can keep your promises. It is very difficult, and it is also tied with proving yourself as reliable, for example. And it all starts with accepting yourself. So what I want you to do is I have prepared an exercise for you, an exercise guide. It's called Ego Center Reflective Exercise, where I have listed a few questions for you that I would like for you to monitor yourself, to keep an eye on yourself for the next couple of days, maybe a week, and see how you respond in different situations that are related to those questions. Some of the questions include: do you feel appreciated? Do you make promises you can't keep? Or do you make promises which later on you break. And of course, if you feel brave and if you feel like you want to share, I would love to read your reflection in the Facebook group, Diamond Confidence. So I'm excited to see you there. And the next video will be about the Open G Center. So I hope to see you there.